residents of Irele local government area in Ondo State, Nigeria. My supervisor was Professor Best. Is Professor Best of Dimoa. This is my outline, ma. I'll be speaking on this topic with this outline: background, literature review, methodology, result, discussion, summary, conclusion, and recommendation, and my references. My way of introducing this topic and the background: type 2 diabetes mellitus has emerged as a defining 21st century public health challenge, with millions of adults living with diabetes globally in 2021, which is projected to reach about 783 million by 2045, with about 445 million adults older than 30 years receiving treatment in 2022. Nearly 80% of people with diabetes reside in low to middle income countries, where health systems are least prepared for its long-term resource-intensive care. Diabetes has known to cause about 1.6 million deaths way back as in 2021, and is increasing with time, with a large share before the age of most patients. Die before the age, not confer protection. Rural communities, they undergo an urbanization of lifestyle because there's dietary transition and reduced active transportation, reduced active transport, and about 42 low middle income countries show rural diabetes population. Nigerian pooled prevalence estimates from about 5.8 to 7.0 in 2024, according to Uloko et al. And Olamuyi et al. In 2024. But rural community-based state-level data, particularly for those states, has remained scarce, with much existing literature urban-focused on criminal and understanding self-reported diagnosis. Statement of the problem: type 2 DM drives affordable morbidity, disability, and premature mortality worldwide, with a particularly severe and widening treatment gap in low middle income countries. Rural population face issues with healthcare capacity, limited screening and laboratory services, irregular medical and medicine supply, and socioeconomic barriers to timely care seeking and going to the hospital. What remains insufficiently known is the true burden and determinant profile of type 2 DM in rural Nigerian communities, especially places like Ondo State, where state-level rural epidemiological evidence is scarce. Much Nigerian literature they are mostly urban-focused, and they combine a little bit of rural, but more of urban samples without adequate disaggregation. Even where rural studies exist, they often fail to comprehensively integrate contextual determinants such as livelihood patterns, food environment, health literacy, and local primary health care functioning the shape screening uptake and continuity of care. Limited rural evidence has led to misaligned planning, under-allocation of resources to rural screening and chronic care, delayed diagnosis, preventable complication, and higher household system costs combined with those states and similar settings. Justification of the study, type 2 DM drives preventable morbidity, disability, and premature mortality, imposing on health system and household. A high rising prevalence coexists with a large pool of undiagnosed and untreated diseases, particularly in low middle income countries, according to Son et al. 2022 and WHO. Rural-urban inequities in diabetes care are well documented across low middle income countries, with rural population more. Aim and specific objectives. The aim of this study is to determine the prevalence and determinant of type 2 DM among adult residents in Irele local government. The objectives: to identify lifestyle risk factors associated with type 2 DM, assess body mass index of adult residents in Irele, examine their dietary pattern, their level of physical activity, and the prevalence of type 2 DM in local government. Now, the research questions: the lifestyle risk factors. Number one is, what are their lifestyle risk factors, their body mass index, their dietary pattern, level of physical activity, and also the prevalence. Research hypothesis. This is there is no statistically significant association between lifestyle risk factor and DM. There is no statistically significant association between BMI and DM. There is no statistically significant association between dietary pattern and DM, and there is no statistically significant association between physical activity level and type 2 DM among really local government residents. Research design, I used a descriptive cross-sectional design was adopted. Study area was a really local government area in Ondo State, in Nigeria's southwest. My target population was from 18 years old and above. Inclusion criteria included adults, male and female, 18 years and above. They've resided in Irele for more than 1 year. They are mental and physically stable and provide voluntary informed consent. The people I excluded, which are my exclusion criteria, were pregnant women and individuals that were severely ill and hospitalized. Using Cochrane's formula, my sample, I used a 95% confidence level with 0.0 as my proportion, according to Ilesami et al. My N is calculated here to give us 101. I adjusted for a 10% non-response, which gave us 102, and I adjusted for a design effect, which was double to about 224. Finally, I have a target sample size of about 224 participants. These are the stages. I used 5 wards and then 10 communities. Each ward, I had 2 communities from each of those wards, making 10 communities all together. These are the wards: Ajagba, Akoto, Iyansanmi, Irele, and Irele 2 and Irele 4. And these are the communities. And these are the sample size I allocated to each of them. The study utilized primary data collected. It was collected directly from participants, gathered through an administered questionnaire, and then biometric measurements. A trained assistant was needed, someone to interpret from English to Ikale, because of some locals that could not express themselves in Ikale in English. This is the stream of data collection. A was social demographic characteristics, risk factors. B, dietary pattern assessment. C, physical activity assessment. D, health history. Content validity was established through Professor Ojinua and an associate professor, Korubo. The questionnaire was translated into local Ikale Yoruba and translated into English. Internal consistency reliability of multi-system scales was used. Biomedical measurements reliably was ensured through standard calibrated equipment. BP apparatus, blood glucose apparatus was also used now. The questionnaires I sent out was about 220, returned was about 202, poorly completed and used for analysis, and was not used for analysis was 205. This is the age group of respondents. I used between 18 to 67 to 68 and above, the ones that I pushed. Yes. Sex was both male and female. Marital status, single, married, and divorced. Educational level, those that didn't have education had someone to interpret. Primary, secondary, and then tertiary level also. These are their occupations, their monthly income, duration of residence, and family history of DM. Their lifestyle status, if they smoke, alcohol consumption, frequency of alcohol consumption, and any history of hypertension. These are the frequency and the percentages. History of blood glucose level, prevention of diagnosis of diabetes, and use of traditional herbal. Family history of DM2 was also considered. And now categorized it into low lifestyle risk, moderate. Based on this information, I categorized it into low lifestyle risk, moderate lifestyle, and high lifestyle risk, represented in frequency of 145, 44, and 16, and these are the percentages. This was also, this is for BMI. I categorized into underweight, normal, and overweight, having these values, and these are the percentages also. This was also done for their dietary pattern, those that, and I later now categorized it into those that have healthy dietary pattern, moderately healthy dietary pattern, and those that have healthy dietary pattern.
Time is up. In 1 minute, just
okay, my discussion of please let me just wrap up. The discussion of physical activity, the relatively favorable activity provides considered with equality at all. Prevalence is about 11.7% prevalence, exceeds Olamoyewu. Non-symptom. Okay. And summary of finding, a response rate of 93.2 was achieved from about 205 adult residents in Irele local government.
Just move. Your time is up. Move.
Okay, ma'am. Conclusion. Type 2 DM constitutes a significant substantially under-recognized public health problem among adults. Concerted public health action, community-based screening, weight management, dietary modification, physical activity promotion, and strengthened primary health care is urgently required to address type 2 DM prevention and control in local government.
Next slide.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, and these are my references.
All right, so go back to your title slide.
Yes, ma'am.
I can see a blank. That's what I can see. Blank, something blank.
Yes, I want to take it back.
Prevalence and determinants of type 2 diabetes. What was that? It goes blank again.
I think it's the network.
Prevalence and determinants of type 2 diabetes among residents in Ondo.
Okay. Yes, my Ondo state.
Well, you need the slide to be up to make comments. You need slide. Okay. While you're trying to put that back on, who is Dell? Dell 896 whatever. We've been advised to rename our devices. Kindly rename your device. And this same person, Uju, has refused to put his or her surname. I don't know what is difficult about renaming your device. Please do so, because next time I won't even give you a warning, I'll remove you. Move to your next slide, Ido.
Yes, ma'am.
Please be fast about it. Okay. If a bit too crowded, it will be difficult to read through this. Next slide. Because you're preparing for the final, and you should make it a bit, just 3 bullets that you can speak to and move to the meat of the matter. Okay. Go to your specific objectives.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you said identify risk factors associated with type 2 DM.
Yes, ma'am.
Cross-sectional studies do not typically have they can't identify risk factors. That's not designed to identify risk factors. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Lifestyle risk factors. So you may find a way to coin what exactly you mean, but this design cannot identify risk factors. We would use superior designs like the cohort designs. Even the case control will be proxy measure of risk. So reward that objective. Okay. Then you said among the resident. Number 2, you want to assess. So we're not saying the verb, you're just saying identify. It's supposed to be to identify, to assess. You know, not just identify as you have written it. Then assess the BMI of residents. Okay. Then examine, try and use another verb, dietary patterns of adult residents.
Okay.
And then determine the prevalence. So everything in this objective looks descriptive. Everything. If you identify risk, even though you recoin that, every other thing looks purely descriptive. And for a master's, I think it's rather weak. Is there an association? Did you find determinants or factors associated with the prevalence? So you have some level of inferential statistics, because everything in this specific objective will just be analyzed using descriptive statistics, which even undergraduate students, they do more than this. That's one. Move to your next slide. We don't routinely present research questions. Okay, so these are the things wasting your time. Next, even the hypothesis, they are not presented here. Follow the templates. And I don't know how you will find hypothesis in things that are purely descriptive. So you say there is no association, significant association between risk factors and DM. You did not ask that in your objective. The entire objective is purely descriptive. Descriptive, you can't have hypothesis. So this does not emanate from what you stated earlier. Moreover, we do not present hypothesis in the PowerPoint. It should be in your Word document. Next slide.
All right. Thank you.
Next slide. So this is your method section. I don't know why you're not using school's templates. You're just designing it your own way. Descriptive process. That's what it is. No, stay there. Still on the first method. Let's set in about a few things.
Okay.
Don't start now. Don't waste time.
No.
Just go one step back. Yes, stay here, please. The study area is on those dates. You're going to use a descriptive studies. Okay, male adults,
We
18
didn't
years
see
and above.
the first slide.
Who have
She jumped the first slide, Sobona. She joined the first slide.
Yes, I saw that. I asked her to go back. She still jumped it, so I wanted to continue. She's doing a descriptive study and she was supposed to show us the study area, but she jumped over it. Yes. Descriptive study. Prevalence and associated determinants. You didn't determine anything. You didn't plan to find out any associated determinants. You just wanted to do prevalence. Okay? That's all you wanted to do.
Yes.
So I don't know where that comes. So if you say descriptive, I'll say yes, because everything was descriptive. But I doubt that they will let that fly and give you a master's under that descriptive.
I think
So,
maybe she had in mind, I think she had in mind to do prevalence
determinants of
and
the
determinants of type 2 diabetes. But she did not find it well in the objectives.
so it should be
Which means she
added.
would have done some analytical stuff to assist her to really do the determinants, so which she did not do in the main one. So the objective would have come out very well.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes. I'll add it. Thank you.
So move to the next slide, please. Okay. You want to exclude pregnant women, but you should give the justification for that actually. Those severely give. Next. Physiological changes. Okay, next. Now, this is your sample size formula. Prevalence of type 2 diabetes was, is it 20% of what? What was that? 7?
Yes, ma'am. 7%.
Okay. And then, having done that, you got 112 and apply design effect of 2 to get 224. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, next.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So sampling methods, selection of board communities, okay, household, and then response. The response simple random sampling to select your respondent. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. It is, ma'am. Simple random.
How did that happen in their houses?
Yes. I did my house, so I'm a bit familiar with the environment. So I went to the hospital where
go left. Okay, so results.
Why don't you do this one?
You will need to put your ethical approval number in your presentation under ethical approval. Next.
Next.
Next. I'm past here. I'm waiting for you to get to results. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Results. Stay here. Stay on this slide. Let's see.
Yes, ma'am.
You collected your data as categorical age, right? So we can't find mean age or median age. You cannot have the descriptive of that as summarized, isn't it? You can.
Yes, ma'am.
Why? That is the wrong thing to do, and that should be clear to you all. Age is is not a categorical variable. It's a continuous variable. It's only
Okay,
you
ma'am.
collect it and you go and recategorize. Next slide. Next slide. This is still your social demographic. So it should not be 1, 2. It should be 4 table 4.1 A, B, C. If you are still saying the same thing, until you get to your research question, we'll now see 4.2 so that we know that that is for objective 1. Research question 1, it said lifestyle risk factors. I told you to find another term. One determine this cross section. You can't call them risk factors. Okay, look
Yes.
for maybe behavioral. Look for something that can, it can't be risk. That term risk cannot come here.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What if you, I think, no, let me come in. If you have the raw data, what you are supposed to do is
Okay.
to now look at these variables. Are you listening to me? Eh? Look at these
Yes, Dr.
variables.
Kano, I'm listening, sir.
Yes, like smoking status. You should have
Yes, sir.
those that smoke, those that do not smoke.
Okay.
Alcohol, then
Okay, sir. All right.
hypertension. Those that have hypertension, those
Yes,
that
sir.
do not have hypertension. So these are the factors you will now cross tabulate with those that now have diabetes type 2 and those that do not have diabetes type 2. That's the only way you can have some form of
Pressure.
differential analysis that can now enable you to address it as determinants of
Right.
type 2 diabetes. Is that clear? Eh? You
It's
will
clear,
not be able
sir. It's
to
clear.
really address and
So this is what she's
uh,
calling risk factors. It's not risk
it's not.
factors.
You
It's not
understand?
risk factors. This is
Uh,
frequency table.
you just
Next
frequency.
slide.
Okay.
This one is just frequency that you do for us.
That's the same thing here. Next.
Yes,
Mm.
ma'am.
Next.
So,
Okay, so this is your overall. Go back to that overall. Let's see what that looks like. Low risk. So how did you arrive at low? Of all the questions, what made it low? What made it high? We are
low and
supposed
what
to
made
see
you
that
moderate and all
in
that. So,
brackets. So if you
mm,
categorize, look for something else. Like I said, don't just be
mm,
risk.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Then
ma'am.
give us
Okay.
the value. What led to the categorization objective?
mm,
Okay, ma'am.
Objective 2, next,
Ma, you said I
quickly.
should go ahead.
To the next
Okay,
objective,
ma'am.
dietary patterns. Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
give us the overall pattern. This is frequency table. The overall pattern
Yes,
is,
ma'am.
if we should also see what makes this to be healthy, moderate, and unhealthy. Give us the range of values. So the items you have used, it shouldn't be here. You used 15 items from what we're seeing here. It should not be
Yes,
your
ma'am.
title. It should not be the title of the table. It should be under. And then you should tell us each of those categories. What is it 0 to 4 that make it unhealthy? What exactly do you classify as healthy? Is it 15 over 15? We need to know so it makes sense to us. Next, objective 3. This is for objective 2. Objective 3. What's this now? Level of physical activity.
Activity.
So, what's the overall level? At least you're giving
Please.
us overall. And then the same thing, put the values that makes it this overall. Objective 4. So if you have this like this, once you have determined prevalence here, no, this is not prevalence. Go to objective 4. Go to objective 4. Prevalence of type 2 diabetes. We should just see how many persons have type 2 diabetes, how many don't. This is not it. Go to that slide on prevalence of, that's the objective number 4. Yes. You're supposed to be going forward, not backwards.
Okay, ma'am.
Here, yes, here. This, oh God. Your time is already up. You're wasting time. I need this feedback to proceed. That's why I'm
Sorry.
taking time to get here. What you are looking for,
Yes,
trying
ma'am.
to say is prevalence of type 2 diabetes. What is the mean? Are we going to use mean to do prevalence? Prevalence, is it not proportion? It can't be mean.
Yes, ma'am.
What we want to know is how many persons out of these 205 had type 2 diabetes and how many don't. That answers prevalence. It's a proportion. It's not about waist circumference, mean waist circumference. This is not it. This is not it.
Okay, ma'am.
This cannot answer prevalence. Prevalence is clearly
It
proportion,
cannot.
not mean.
Yes.
So you
It can't
can't
answer
use
the
this
question.
one, and that's the most important thing you set out to do.
To
That you
do,
must show us, and it's not there. And if you don't
you
have
have not
that,
done it.
there's no magic that will make you do determinants that makes this valid for a master's. Do you understand?
I do, ma'am. I do.
Please, so categorize your diabetes into those who have and those who don't. That is prevalence. Total number of disease over total number of population exposed. You must give us the proportion. And once we have that, you can do determinants of prevalence to give weight to your dissertation. All right? But the good thing is
Yes,
that at least you are going logically. If you make this correction, you can proceed. Or you need to get back to your analysis and do that. All right, stop sharing.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now your reference is minus E to go and do the property. We have shown you people the property.
Okay.
Go and do that one as well. Stop sharing. Next person. Dr. Kanu, hope that's good.